Coming next on News Channel 13, a helicopter carrying dozens of U.S. soldiers is shot down over Iraq. We'll have a live report. Plus, the embattled president of Albany is being recognized tonight, not for her resignation, but for her accomplishments. Live at 11's next. Today was the deadline for 2 suspended doctors to learn their fate. We'll have an update. Plus, the first openly gay bishop is welcomed into the Episcopal Church, but not without controversy. Live at 11 starts now.
From WNYT, Albany, this is News Channel 13, live at 11.
There were 15 killed in action and 21 wounded.
Tonight's top story, a helicopter carrying dozens of U.S. soldiers is shot down. U.S. military officials are calling it one of the bloodiest days they've seen yet.
This is News Channel 13, live at 11.
Good evening, I'm Kelly Lynch. The U.S. military and the Bush administration is calling this a tragic day for all Americans. The chopper went down this morning. Dozens of soldiers were aboard the helicopter at the time. They were leaving Iraq to get some rest and relaxation. Today's crash comes after U.S. soldiers there were warned to be on an alert for organized revolt. Yesterday was rumored to be a day of resistance. Jane Watrel has been following this story. She joined us now live from Washington with the very latest on today's attack. Jane?
Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld says his heart and prayers go out to the families of the soldiers killed in the attack. But he says such tragedies are to be expected during a long war. The Chinook helicopter hit the ground with such force, officials say there was barely anything left. Rescuers found an engine, a chunk of fuselage, and smoldering small pieces of metal. U.S. soldiers rushed in to treat the injured. The downed helicopter and a second Chinook were carrying soldiers to Baghdad airport to head home for some rest and relaxation. A coalition spokesman says at least 15 are dead, 21 injured. This man says he witnessed 2 missiles fired at the Chinooks. One went wide. The other hit one of the helicopters, causing the crash. The attack is under investigation. In Washington, Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld called the crash a tragic day for Americans, but added the administration would not back down.
The president said we'll stay as long as we're needed, not one day longer. But we've got a job to do. We're not going to abandon the Iraqi people.
And there was more violence. A few miles from the crash site, 2 American civilian contractors were killed and a third wounded when a roadside bomb blew up their vehicle near Fallujah. Local Iraqis cheered the attack. Some of the dead and wounded soldiers are believed to be from Fort Carson, Colorado. A base spokesman says information on the soldiers would not be released until tomorrow at the earliest.
Each time we hear of a wounded or a killed soldier, it does cause us to take pause and reflect on the sacrifices we face.
This was the deadliest day for American troops in Iraq since the first week of the war. All of those involved in the helicopter crash were combat soldiers. In addition to Colorado, the dead and wounded are also from bases in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kentucky. That's the latest live from Washington. I'm Jane Watrel. Now back to you.
Thank you, Jane. More than 30 naval reservists were welcomed home to the capital region today. They were called to active duty from around the United States early this year. Many of the sailors who trained in Albany served in a medical hospital in Bethesda, Maryland. They took care of wounded soldiers from all over the world, including many from Iraq.
Nice to meet you, girls.
Now, when you hear things like this morning when the helicopter was shot down and 15 were killed, a lot of wounded there, do you think, oh, I wish I could help them?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. My skills are in emergency medicine, so, you know, that's what I do, so it would be nice to be able to help in those situations.
Several reservists we spoke with said they would serve in Iraq in a heartbeat. Albany President Karen Hitchcock has faced some harsh criticism since announcing her resignation last Wednesday. Tonight, her accomplishments were honored. More on that, but first, let's check in with meteorologist Lee Copson for a first look at the forecast. Hi, Lee.
Hey, Kelly. Good evening, everyone. Well, today, back to reality. Not quite as warm as what it was yesterday across the area. Temperatures today only topping out in the 50s. Still not bad, but I think we'll get a little taste of mild air again tomorrow, especially if you live south of Albany, though there's still going to be lots of clouds around. A few scattered showers early in the morning, though not a washout for the commute. Temperatures right around 50 degrees early in the morning, rising up into the middle 50s. And again, clouds win out tomorrow, but there could be a few breaks of sunshine through the afternoon. The best shot of folks getting up over that 60-degree mark are those of you that live south of Albany. Temperatures tomorrow in the Albany area, topping out right around 60 degrees. We'll talk more about the forecast, which has some mild weather, and then back to reality, cold weather by the end of the week coming along in a few moments. Kelly.
All right, thank you, Lee. The U.S. Episcopal Church officially has a new bishop. Today's consecration of Reverend Gene Robinson, however, is causing a deep rift within the Anglican community. Robinson is now the first openly gay bishop in the Episcopal Church. He was consecrated today during a ceremony in a New Hampshire arena. Outside the arena, protesters gathered to voice their opposition. Inside, members of the religious community announced their own objections as well as their praise. Assistant Bishop David Bina of Albany was among the dissenters.
This consecration poses a dramatic contradiction to the historic faith and discipline of the Church. We join with the majority of the bishops in the Anglican Communion and will not recognize it.
There are people, faithful, wonderful Christian people, for whom this is a moment of great pain and confusion and anger. And our God will be served if we are hospitable and loving and caring toward them in every way we can possibly muster.
At the conclusion of the ceremony, Bishop Robinson was congratulated with applause and a standing ovation. Albany President Karen Hitchcock was honored tonight for some of her accomplishments. It's a moment of positive reflection after a week of chaos following her announcement that she would step down at the end of the academic year. Elizabeth Scarborough reports.
Karen Hitchcock was applauded for her work in public health and Judaic studies during her 8 years as president of the University at Albany. Hitchcock became the third person to be honored by the Jewish humanitarian group Hadassah. Hadassah raises money for medical research and its hospital in Jerusalem, Israel. Hitchcock has been placed in their Book of Peace.
It means a tremendous amount. These women have done so much here in Israel, around the world, to help in the area of health, to help in the area of social services and education. And those ideals are ones that we treasure at the University at Albany.
You didn't know that this would be her last year when you started this whole process.
Absolutely not. We totally thought we were picking a non-controversial honoree.
This honor comes amid the storm of controversy over Hitchcock's decision to resign as the president here at UAlbany. Earlier this week, Hitchcock made the announcement that shocked many, but the women that honored her at this ceremony say that does not change all of the good she's done in her time as president of the university.
And what happens with the future of her career will be up to her, but we're honoring her for what she has accomplished.
Right now, Hitchcock's future is still a great big question mark. When we asked her what she plans to do next, she refused to comment. In Albany, Elizabeth Scarborough, News Channel 13.
Still no word from Albany Med regarding the fate of 2 doctors suspended last month. Their jobs were put on hold along with the future of the heart transplant program. Today was the deadline for a decision, and the lawyer for one of the doctors says he'll put up a fight if his client isn't treated fairly. Lindsay Cohen reports.
It would be very ugly for the medical center if this isn't resolved fairly and honestly and decently with Dr. Canver. The medical center is going to regret it.
Fighting words from the lawyer for Dr. Charles Canver. Canver was one of 2 doctors who headed up the heart transplant program at Albany Med. The program and the doctor's jobs were put on hold on October 3rd.
He is obviously very upset that he's not practicing medicine. He loved the job he had. He wants to get back to the medical center and do what he does best, and take care of his patients.
The hospital said it wanted to look into discrepancies, ones that may have allowed some patients to move ahead of others for donated hearts. But the doctor suspensions were set to last only 30 days, so Sunday was the day the docs were supposed to hear about their fate with the hospital. As of Sunday afternoon, no word had come in yet to Canver's attorney. A spokesperson for Albany Medical Center says the hospital won't be releasing any information about the status of the investigation. The hospital adds that because the doctors are undergoing a confidential peer review process, the results will only be released to the doctors themselves. Canver's lawyer says it doesn't look good for his client, and he's ready to fight should his client feel the investigation was unfair in any way.
He's not at all satisfied. He doesn't believe the investigation was justified. He has no confidence in the investigative process, and he is not optimistic, frankly, but we're hopeful.
Canver's lawyer says he expects a certified letter will come on Monday notifying Canver of his fate. Lindsay Cohen, News Channel 13, Albany.
A former cancer researcher at the Stratton VA Medical Center will face charges in federal court tomorrow. Paul Cornack was indicted last week on charges of involuntary manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide. The indictment alleges Cornack forged and lied about the medical backgrounds of dozens of patients so he could enroll them in drug studies. One patient died during the studies. Investigators are also looking at what role Cornack's supervisor, Dr. James Holland, played in the studies. A Warren County woman accused of being drunk when she gave birth to her baby is also due in court tomorrow. Stacey Lynn Gilligan is charged with child endangerment over the birth of her intoxicated baby last month. District Attorney Kate Hogan is now being pressured to drop the charges against Gilligan. The New York Civil Liberties Union says prosecuting Gilligan could deter other pregnant women from seeking help for substance abuse problems. 2 New Jersey parents accused of starving their 4 adopted children are free on bail tonight. Raymond and Vanessa Jackson were arrested last week and charged with 14 counts of child endangerment and assault. Today, members of their church welcomed them with a showing of support. The Jacksons deny the charges and are described by their other 4 children as loving parents. A Berkshire County man is tracked down by police and arrested for arson. That story coming up after the break. Plus, there are encouraging signs for evacuated residents of California. An update at 11:14. And at 11:16, rap mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs pledged he would run the New York City Marathon to help children. But did he make it? We'll tell you at 11:16.
Live, local, late breaking. With Kelly Lynch, meteorologist Pete Copson, and Big Board Sports with Rodger Wyland. This is News Channel 13, live at 11. News Channel 13 is sponsored in part by your Lexus dealer. For more details on some of our stories, visit WNYT.com. With more news from MSNBC, WNYT.com is powered by Verinet Solutions, putting internet technology to work for your business.
Welcome back. A Berkshire County man is under arrest tonight, accused of setting fire to a dumpster at the Berkshire Bowl and Gun Club in Lenox. Police used a helicopter and a canine unit to track down the man who was hiding in the woods behind the gun club. The man is in jail on $5,000 bail. There is some welcome news for residents evacuated from their homes in Big Bear, California due to wildfires. They can now go home. Karen Brown has the latest from San Bernardino.
This is the den area. Sit here.
The Ross family returned to their burned-out home in San Bernardino County to assess the damage.
I didn't know if I should cry or scream or what. Just to stand there and just with my hand over my mouth. Like everything's gone.
A week ago Saturday, Tara was at work when flames overtook their neighborhood. Larry Dew had just moments to escape with 5 kids.
I went in, picked my daughter up, put her in my arm, got some diapers, diaper bag and all that, wipes, and took off walking.
But from the ashes, this family is finding their faith.
That was a Bible.
And from their church, which has donated food and clothing, they are finding the community spirit they need to rebuild.
Even though we're not related by blood, but we're all family, and it's our job to help each other.
In fact, now that the fires are under control and most of the evacuation orders have been lifted in Southern California, it is the spirit of community that seems to be showing through.
When anybody asks, is there anything I can do to help? I say, come on up and join our sifting party.
These rescued animals have found a safe home, and these firefighters say they appreciate the community support.
It's overwhelming. You know, we're out there doing a job that we say that's our job. But then when you get that citizen support, it does. It hits home, and we appreciate it.
And most say it will take optimism and community support for Southern California to rebuild from the ashes. And there is more good news for the folks here in Southern California. Fire officials say that the Santa Ana winds will not be returning, as had been predicted last week. In San Bernardino, California, I'm Karen Brown, NBC News.
Here in New York, homeowners are shifting their thoughts toward winter. After last year's harsh winter, heating customers are opting for fixed price plans. Both Pulcinella Fuel and Central Hudson Gas and Electric report an increase in the number of customers choosing that option. The fixed price plan means customers pay a set price for gas or oil no matter what the weather brings. Warmer temperatures were a welcome sign to runners in today's marathon in the Big Apple, especially for rap mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs. Despite a bum right knee and just 8 weeks of training, Combs finished today's marathon in over 4 hours. Combs decided to run the marathon to raise money for children's advocate groups. In all, the star raised $2 million. Still to come, tonight's winning lottery numbers. And up next, Lee has the first morning forecast. Stay with us. Welcome back to the annual Cohoes Fashion Show. The event's a fundraiser sponsored by the Friends of the Cohoes Library. It was a packed house today, and those who attended were treated to lunch and a fashion show with clothes from Liz's Closet and Casual Corner. Among the group of models, Kumi Tucker and Lindsay Cohen. The event raised $1,700, which will go toward new equipment and education programs at the library.
And a better day to be inside today,
yes,
especially with a free lunch on tap, because more clouds around, temperatures back to reality today in the 50s for highs. Still not bad, but not up near 70 like we were to start the weekend. 54 the high this afternoon, pretty close to the average of 53, but still mild during the morning hours. 49, that's it for the low this morning when you see we should be in the lower 30s for this time of year, and it can get pretty chilly. 19 the record low just last year, so not too far off from those cold temperatures. Still mild this evening. Cloudy skies out there right now, 50 degrees in Albany. A light breeze out of the north right now at 3 miles per hour, and that puts us on the cooler side of the front when we have those northerly winds, but pretty much the front is going right across our viewing area, right across the Mohawk Valley and into the capital region. You see if you go further to the north of the front into the Adirondacks, temperatures only in the low 40s. 47 right now at Glens Falls, 49 at Bennington, Vermont, but further to the south, temperatures still right around 60 degrees from New York City to Philadelphia, and even out west, 61 degrees right now in Pittsburgh, 60 degrees at Bradford, Pennsylvania. Again, this front playing havoc with us for the next couple of days as it oscillates north and south, and it looks like tomorrow it's going to start to move to the north again, so some of this mild air is going to try to get in here, especially for the southern part of the viewing area. So if you live south of Albany tomorrow, your temperatures during the afternoon look like they'll be pretty mild into the low 60s. Still a question if that mild air will work its way up into the north country around Lake George and into the Adirondacks. I think will stay a little cooler. And over the past 24 hours, that front, again, just kind of meandering around our area. And you see on the north side of the front, there's some scattered showers around, and we have had some showers across the Adirondacks and much of the north country today. We'll check those right now on pinpoint Doppler radar. Not a whole lot of rain as you check the rainfall totals from the Neighborhood Weather Network locations. A few hundredths with a passing hit-or-miss shower in many spots. Southern parts of the viewing area staying dry today, but the most rain to the north. You see the Fort Edward High School checking in with close to a 1/4 inch of precipitation this afternoon. And we check right now, most of Warren County seeing some shower activity, pretty light shower activity around Lake George. Here's the Sacandaga, so Hadley and northern Saratoga County seeing a shower right now. Let's check the national weather scene. Again, that front slicing across the entire country. Warm air to the south, cold air to the north. You see that in the temperatures. Very cold in the northern Rockies, very warm to the south and east. And we'll be right on the dividing line for the next few days. We'll have the forecast in 30 seconds. A few scattered showers tonight with areas of fog. Most of the wet activity will stay across the north country. Temperatures won't fall off all that much more overnight, down into the middle and upper 40s. Mostly cloudy. Looks mild tomorrow, especially from Albany and points south. I think in Albany, temperatures make a good run at 60 degrees. Across the north country, they stay a little cooler. And again, there'll be a few scattered showers like today, but not an all-day rain. Hey, guess what? More showers tomorrow night, mostly cloudy. That front just hanging around, won't get out of here. 45 degrees. Much of the same, maybe a little cooler on Tuesday, mid-50s. Wednesday actually gets milder with a steadier rain moving in for Wednesday. So Wednesday looks like the wettest day of the next few, and then we'll start to dry out Thursday. And a dose of reality by Friday. Temperatures only in the mid-40s for highs by the end of the week. So although a little wet the next few days, at least it's mild and it's wet, not white.
Okay. Very well said.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lee.
Okay.
Rodger's in next with a preview of Big Board Sports. But first, a taste of many worlds. We'll look at the Festival of Nations at 11:25. Welcome back to an event honoring cultures of all nations right here in the Capital Region. The Festival of Nations was held this afternoon at the Empire State Plaza Convention Center. The day kicked off with a parade of nations, followed by music, dancing, food, and arts and crafts. More than 24 countries were represented at the event today. And Rodger's here to look at what's coming on the Big Board Sports, and I guess we're looking ahead to the high school Super Bowl.
We are. It's that time, and some of these teams are competing for a trip to the state finals in Syracuse. Kelly, we'll talk about the high school stuff. Big game, James Allen will join us, but beginning tonight, we've got the Battle of New York, Giants and the Jets, and all the highlights coming up from that game. I wouldn't call it the best played game by either side, but Giants come out on top. Post-game interviews coming up from the Meadowlands. Union hockey home today. They are just playing very good hockey, really, under Nate Lehman, the new head coach there. And as Kelly said, we'll preview the Super Bowl playoffs in high school, all the Section 2 finals, AA, A, B, C, and D, all coming up this weekend. Big game. James Allen from the Troy Record will be here, and Lars will be with us as well. He's got a story on a local billiards player who's making it big on the national scene.
Okay, exciting stuff.
Good stuff.
All right.
All right, Kelly.
Thanks, Rodger. We'll be back with the last look at the forecast, but first, tonight's winning lottery numbers. Finally tonight, Halloween may be over, but pumpkins are still in demand in Seattle. Grizzly bears at the Woodland Park Zoo are having a smashing good time. They retreated to pumpkins, but had a little bit of difficulty getting into them. One of the bears finally figured out how to stomp on one to get to the gooey inside. They could have just taken a page from my neighbor's books, smashing pumpkins.
Yeah, I wouldn't think those guys would have trouble getting into anything, but eventually they figured it out. Our forecast is a tough one to figure out for the next few days, Kelly, because we've got this pesky front just kind of meandering across our area with some cool air to the north, mild air to the south. I think the front moves to the north enough tomorrow that it gets mild up to 60 in Albany, but it will be much cooler across the north country with a few